Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So my name is Leon from Zarps Metal Detecting South Africa, and I decided to make this video to share with you guys 5 of my most important tips for new metal detectorists and some old guys that have been detecting for a long time and might not have thought about what I'm going to share with you guys today. So I take out a lot of newbies to different sites, parks and relic sites, and I see these guys making the same mistakes over and over, and I share these tips, and I've found that these tips that I give them, even though some of them might be insignificant, make a huge difference to these guys and how they detect and the targets that they find. So I decided that I'm going to make this video and share these 5 tips with you guys today, and I'll be talking about these tips and then taking you outside and showing you a few examples. So I really hope that this helps you guys. Again, this is not the be all and end all. This is just me sharing some of my tips with you guys, and if it works, great. If not, just consider keeping what I've said in your arsenal of tips and tricks that you use when you go out and you metal detect. So I hope this helps you. If it does help you, make sure to like, and if you haven't joined Team Zarps, subscribe below. So let's get into it and yeah, enjoy. Okay, so the first tip that I want to share with you guys today is know what you're looking for. So what I mean by that is when you go out to a site, know that you are either looking for coins, or you're looking for jewelry, or you are looking for relics, but know what you are looking for. I find that when I go to a certain area and I know that, listen, I'm going to go coin shooting, that I set up my machine, I know what to expect in that area, and I know what targets to avoid and what targets to dig. Something that I've done and I've shared with a lot of guys before is, let's say for example you decide to go and coin shoot. So I understand that if you're a newbie, everything is so overwhelming and you might not know exactly what you're looking for. So in that case, start small and go for coin shooting. Decide that you are going to concentrate in the next couple of hunts only on coins, and then create a test bed at home. Go to your backyard if you do have a backyard, take some coins, and create the expectation. So if you're going to a park that might not be very old, anticipate what you might find, what type of coins you might find. So in South Africa, you might have some of the modern clad 1 Rand, 2 Rand, 5 Rand coins, maybe some old 2 cent and 1 cent coins or 50 cent coins or whatever. But take some of those coins and go outside and place them on the ground. Take your machine, go over them, and understand what your machine is telling you about that coin. Anticipate and understand what the target IDs are going to be, and then in the same way, anticipate what type of trash you might find. So you might pick up, you will pick up bottle caps, you will pick up the screw top caps, you will pick up pull tabs, hundreds and hundreds of pull tabs, some foil, maybe some wire, tin cans, cold drink cans. These are the type of trashy items that you will pick up in a park when you go out and metal detect. So take those trashy items and put them outside in your test bed. If you don't have a lawn, you can create a nice little depth test box. I'll show you guys a picture of that now so you can see what that looks like, and I'll also put the video in the description, so you guys can make one of those boxes and you can test different targets and see how your machine reacts and what the target IDs are. So in that way, knowing what you are looking for, again, if you're looking for relics and you understand the area and you understand what target IDs you're looking for, that makes a huge difference in not wasting time in digging target IDs that will not produce the result that you're looking for. So if you're going for coins, understand the range of target IDs that you're looking for, and then the same with the trash, put trash down and understand what those target IDs will be before you go and dig, so that you can avoid maybe some of those mid and lower conductor target IDs, and only target the higher target IDs on your machine And that way that will give you kind of a boost on the amount of holes and targets that you dig. So a really good point is, before you go out, know what you are looking for, understand the area, and then plan according to that. So my tip number 2 is knowing what your machine is telling you, and using your machine to really dissect the target that you are now locked onto. So let's say, for instance, a coin. If you lock onto a coin, what is the target ID showing you? Is it giving you a solid, stable target ID on the screen? If so, I like to turn myself 90 degrees and go over that target ID again. Is it still giving you that solid, the same target ID on the screen? If so, it is most probably a good target and something that you want to dig. Another thing that I'd like to do is take my coil and go, as I go over the target, move your coil backward and see what the machine does. Does the target start to jump around? Does the target ID start to become erratic in what it's telling you? What does the tone say? Are you getting a little bit of an iron tone as you move your coil back and forth and backward over the target? If you are getting a little bit of that squeaky or iron grunt in your machine, it's probably not a target that you want to dig, and it's probably junk. So use your machine to really tell you, what the target is, what type of metal it is. I mean, we all know that a coin is a really solid piece of metal. So if you go over that target and you move your coil backward, what is happening? Is the tone just dropping away, or is the target ID starting to jump and squeak and go into an iron tone? Again, move over the target, turn yourself 90 degrees, go over the target again, and really understand what your machine is telling you. Right, guys, so let me show you what I've done here. So as you can see, I am in Park 1. My settings, volume is at full, ground balance I've already done. My iron volume is full. I'm in the standard frequency shift. And that's basically it. Right, so I'm in Park 1. Over here, I've got a modern 1 Rand coin. Let me show you. That's what that looks like. And over here, I've got an old bottle cap, rusted bottle cap. So I just want to show you what I mean when you go over these targets. So let me go over the 1 Rand coin. Can you see that target ID? Giving me a nice solid 79.80. Go over the coin, turn 90 degrees, 79.80. Move back with my coil. It drops slightly, 78. It doesn't give me any iron tone. Have a look now when I go over this bottle cap. So this bottle cap is giving me 64, 65, 58. But watch what happens when I move my coil back. You hear there? See that iron grunt? So yeah, I might be getting a solid 68, 69. But turn around. There, it drops. You see how erratic the target IDs are? That's exactly my point. Let me take a little bit of a more modern bottle cap. So let's take this one over here, right? Let's place it down here. Have a look. So there's 72, 73, pretty solid. See if I move back. See how it drops. So when you're going over targets, make sure to turn yourself 90 degrees, move your coil back as you go over the target, and just investigate and try and dissect on what your machine is telling you. Again, if you go over a coin, it will be solid and it will stay solid. So next is depth perception. So I find that this is something that a lot of new detectorists and even some guys that have been hunting for quite a while struggle with and struggle to understand. And a lot of machines whether it's the Simplex or some of the newer models, or even some of the older models, these machines can give you a really good sense of depth perception. And what that is when you go over a target, a really solid target that is close to the surface, your machine will let you know by blowing your ears off on how loud it is. And that is something that you need to use. But sometimes, especially if you're hunting in a park, coin shooting or that type of thing, your machine, you might go over a target that gives you a really loud high tone, and sometimes that's not always something that you want to dig. So that is either telling you that this target is really close to the surface, or it is a really large target. And in that case, when I go over a target and I get this really loud, solid high tone, the first thing I do is I just lift my coil over the target as I go over it again. And you'll find that if you are lifting your coil 10, 15 or more centimeters above this target, and you're still getting that solid, loud target off of your machine or beep from your machine, I can guarantee you that it's most probably going to be either a large piece of iron or some large foil, or most probably an aluminium can, cold drink can or something. Right, so over here I've got this modern £1 coin. And over here, I've got this large piece of iron. So there you can hear the iron tone coming through, but sometimes you might just be able to lock onto that sweet spot of that piece of iron. Like there. But see how I pick up the target if I lift up my coil? There I'm about 30 centimeters above it. 20, 25 centimeters. I'm still picking up that iron. Look what happens when I go over the £1 coin. Right, so this coin is right on the surface. You hear that double beep as well? So listen to and watch as I lift my coil up when the coin disappears. There it's starting to fade at about 10 centimeters. And there it's pretty much gone. That's about 15, 18 centimeters. That's the difference. This is probably about 40 centimeters above the piece of iron. And then it's only starting to fade. That's how you identify when it's a really large piece of iron or foil or whatever. And let me show you with the foil as well. So here's a large piece of foil, right? Same thing, have a look. Giving me a 69. Lift up your coil. I'm still picking up that foil at 30 plus centimeters. So this is really important, and I see this so many times with guys going in and they are just rushing it, going all over, trying to detect everywhere, not missing a spot, or they think they're not missing a spot, but they actually end up missing so many targets. So what I want to say is you have to slow down. Take your time, create a type of a grid line, take 5 or 10 meters squared, and just slowly go over back and forth in this area. And what I do is actually just the other day I was hunting with someone, and they were having difficulty picking up these really small 4-hole buttons. And I was just killing it finding all these buttons. And I actually showed them that as I was going over, I would listen for these faint little squeaks and faint little high tones that might sound like false signals. But as soon as you hear that, just stop, go over that area again and investigate. And when you do find something faint, just turn yourself 90 degrees, just go around that target and go over with your coil and slow down your coil. And 8 out of 10 times you'll find that you will be able to pick up that signal. That signal will get stronger, and as soon as you start to lock on to that signal, it's time to dig. I find that with coins as well. When I go into a park and I go through, especially if there's a lot of beeps and there's a lot of signals, I try to just consistently go over, not to rush and go too fast. And if I hear that little squeak or that little high tone, I just stop and go back with my coil again and just see if I can pick up that high tone. And you'll find that if you just take the time and you slow down and you go over and listen for those faint signals, that will increase the chances of finding good targets drastically. So my tip number 4 is slow down, keep your coil low, and don't rush when you go detecting. Okay guys, so the last tip that I want to share with you, and this is a really important one, and that is about iron volume. And so a lot of newbies and even some experienced detectors think that when they have a machine where they are able to turn down their iron volume on the machine, that that's going to kind of eliminate their iron signal. So while that is true to a certain extent, and you don't want to hear those iron nails and pieces of sheet lying around, some iron, especially thin deep sheet or iron sheeting, or some very large iron, can be very misleading and give you that high tone sweet spot. So I did another video where I explained and I showed guys how to dig less iron with the Amphibio Multi, and even if you have the Simplex has iron volume built in, where you can adjust by 3 different settings on the iron volume. So if you hit that sweet spot and you have your iron volume down, you might only hit that sweet spot on that piece of iron and think that it's a good target and start digging, where you might be completely wrong. So I'm going to show you now a quick clip of me outside with the Simplex with the iron volume, and just how misleading it can be if you are turning your iron volume down. So tip number 5, keep that iron volume right up there. So have a listen to this bottle cap that I put down there, right? So this is a nice rusted old bottle cap. We find these plenty in the parks. So my iron volume is turned down. Have a listen to this. Pretty good target over there. Giving me a 60, 62, 66. Check what happens when I move my coil back. It just drops like a coin would, right? So if I put my iron volume up again, this is the difference. So then my iron volume is full. Have a listen. Immediately you start hearing the grunt. See that? That's exactly why you need to have your iron volume up. Right guys, so I really hope that this video could help a lot of you guys out. If you are new to detecting, if you have a Simplex or any other detector and you're just getting into the hobby, I really hope that what I've showed you in this video makes sense, and go and try it out. Go out and just take some of the tips and the things that I've said into consideration, and I promise you that it will increase your chances of finding really good targets and digging less holes and concentrating on quality targets. So yeah, again, as always, if this video helped, if you have maybe some other tips that you'd like to share with us, leave them in the comment section. I'll have a look, and I might just do another video to follow up on some more tips and tricks for you guys. So again, if you like this video, please make sure to like. If you haven't joined Teams Arb, subscribe below. We really appreciate that, and I'll see you guys on the next hunt. So take it easy.